on a podcast, baby.
Yes, we are.
Welcome back to For Further Instructions. I'm Daniel Curtis Lee.
I'm Hutch, and I'm waiting for you to fuck up
Oh,
that title. I'm waiting for you to be like, for furthers.
No, here.
For furthers
All
instructions.
right, a couple episodes ago, I was reaching because I was like, wait, he just created the new title. I'm like, is it for your consideration? What's the four score 7
For your
years ago?
consideration.
No,
huh?
it is for
further
instructions.
You had to look to me for that.
I did.
I saw
keep
it.
having to,
I saw
I'm about
it.
to butcher it.
Yeah, we are back on.
Uh-huh.
How are you feeling about the set now?
Okay,
you walked off.
It's a lot cozier now.
Okay.
It's a lot cozier.
You did walk off.
I had to leave.
Episode
I
one,
had to leave. I was
you did.
infuriated.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was furious with this individual for telling me that we couldn't keep spending all that money at that awesome other studio that we had, man. We were just hemorrhaging funds, guys.
But was it also the fact that it was a block away from your house?
It was also a block away from my house. It was perfect. It was perfect. See,
block away.
Convenience is what you need in your life, guys. Say that with me. Convenience. All the viewers at home, if you haven't taken time for yourself, choose convenience, okay? Choose convenience. Sometimes you got to put yourself ahead of other people, all right? For the greater good of the society. Because if you get on top, then you can pull somebody else up. Can I get an amen? Amen.
Amen.
Yes, baby. For further instructions, man, we're out here trying to give you some motivation so you can make it through your week.
Yeah, I think that for the Zeke and Luth pod, we didn't really have the wild card aspect as much. But Daniel, I feel like you're filling the wild card vibe a little bit more. You're like kind of putting it in there. We're like, sometimes I can guess what you're gonna say or what you're gonna do, and then there's other times during the pod that you will just say things that I would have never. It wasn't on my bingo card.
Yeah, no.
It wasn't in any way, shape, or form.
You gotta always leave them guessing.
Yes.
And never let them know what angle you're coming from.
In this case, you're just trying to keep me guessing.
Yeah, keep you on your toes, man. Keep the audience on their toes too, man.
It's so odd that you said, you can pull someone else up and, maybe you can help someone along the way. Because today, the topic is actually self-care and being self-less.
Yes,
So,
yes, absolutely.
Bit of a, those two don't
self-care
usually...
and selfless?
Self-care.
Uh-huh.
And being selfless.
And being selfless.
Self-care is where you have to be, kind of selfish. You have to choose yourself. You have to take care of yourself. But then there's being selfless, where you are doing acts of kindness and service for other people, and you're not really thinking about yourself. Yeah. And I think a lot of people in this world, unfortunately, they're not very good at balancing that out.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people that are far too selfish, and they think it's just being, self-care. And it's like, no, you're selfish.
You're selfish.
And then there's other people that are so selfless that they don't take care of themselves.
Yeah. It's a lot of masturbation, not enough cunnilingus. Yeah. I know. It's so rough. And, that's what damages a lot of relationships out of here, guys. You got to learn how to get on your knees, guys, all right? It's not all about you.
Why?
Sometimes you gotta go the extra mile for your partner.
I want to know why.
Okay.
No, you tell me why.
Now we know.
Right now.
And now America is a better place because
America's a better place because of that fucking statement?
Absolutely. I think there are a lot of people in unhappy relationships right now who are upset, and they need someone to be less. They need someone to be selfless. So be selfless out there.
Right.
Okay. At home. Yeah.
So. Question, just because why not?
Absolutely.
Seeing as we were talking about just kind of a generalization, right?
And then
may I ask why it went to the sexual stuff so quick?
Yeah. See, it really helps people. It's almost like
go ahead.
Extra little oomph, in the statement to make them really carry it out into other aspects of their life, because sex is just something that is so impactful in our lives. We can get it right in the sheets. We can get it right in the streets. Okay, guys? Take that home with you. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Yeah. All right. Yeah, selflessness. But yeah, you had something.
So no. You think you're getting? If you think you're getting away with
we're
that,
glossing right over it.
If you think that you're going to be able to just push along right there,
sweep it right under the rug.
That was. I want you to go line by line with me on that answer on what any of that actually meant.
Well, no. I mean, no. I'm
What did it
serious
mean?
about it.
I know you're serious about it.
You
I'm
said
asking
we're
more
going to discuss selflessness and
being selfish, but I
and then
wasn't saying
self-care.
in the bedroom.
But it can also be applied to the bedroom. And that's where people get it wrong. You got to be well-rounded out here, guys.
I'm not
You need a
saying
nice
you're wrong.
circular
I just
shape,
think
oval.
that you kind of took like, a Fast and Furious like left turn. There was no like braking, there was no shifting gears. You just
It's
kind of
called
just
drifting.
flew off the fucking cliff with that one.
Drift.
And then you looked over at me and went, "Yeah," and then, just
You know what I'm talking
that I was
about.
gonna be on board with it, which I think you knew I wouldn't be. I think you knew pretty quickly.
I think
so
that was the purpose of it.
I appreciate
Shock
that,
value, ladies and gentlemen.
you know what we're doing though is it's the opposites. It's something that we've always leaned into.
Oh, yeah,
right?
oh, yeah.
Whereas in this one though, I would say it's interesting because I would say at times you're actually less reserved than me, and before I would say that was not the case.
Yeah, we switch off.
I would say we switch off definitely. We when the hero is needed
Hey.
to come in and make the pod not boring,
Hey,
someone comes in.
someone will arrive.
Someone arrives.
He may not come when you want him,
Yeah.
but he'll be there right on time.
That's right. So being selfish and and selfless, what would you say has been what you've been at fault at times? Would you say that you've struggled with being selfish or
Yo,
being selfless?
Funniest thing, we all have to learn this. Like, okay, so taking it away from all the sexual side.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, just like learning sharing is caring, like as a child, like some of these negative traits, they're instinctual. I'm like, I don't know why humans are built from the bottom to just immediately want to do things for themselves. But, as a child, all you have is you and grabbing, reaching something, or bring it closer to me, or, they have something, I want to have that thing in my hands, like, and then it slowly has to be taught. Like I get my little nieces all the time are like doing things. I'm like, hey, that's your little sister, or that's your big sister. Don't do that.
Sure.
Why would you do that? And I want them to be thinking from the lens that we arrive at after being educated and taught to be nice and things like that, be selfless. But humans instinctually, they kind of just want to take.
Sure.
And it has to be kind of taught. So I think we've all struggled with it. I consider myself a pretty selfless person, especially when there's an objective and I have a team, with me. So I love working in teams. That's why I love like filmmaking, doing directing, producing.
Yeah.
Getting a bunch of people on one accord to see this thing creatively through. But there are a lot of moments where you're going to have to take a back seat, trust someone else's opinion and their resources in order to reach your ultimate goal. Like there's so much benefit to being selfless. However, there are times where others can take advantage of your selflessness. And that's where being selfish is a benefit. And I also think that being selfish, like sometimes you look at these great leaders that have come before us, if they hadn't had such an ego driving them to be whatever their idea of the best was, then we wouldn't have those like awesome archetypes to us, to strive towards.
Right.
So I can appreciate both sides. I know I'm more comfortable in groups that are selfless amongst each other, but those standout like winners, sometimes I'm like, hey, it's good to see a winner.
Well, I think that there's a lot of correlation between somebody's ego and their success, a lot. And I think there are certain people where I would definitely say, yes, without their ego, I don't think their success would have happened. I think their ego was part of the driving force of how they believed in themselves and how they felt they could do maybe something that was not done before and have it work, and the confidence in order to present it the way they do. And then there are other people that I've seen that are unbelievably talented with no ego at all. And they're that brilliant. I mean, you look at like John Williams, who did some of the most amazing scores of all time for Star Wars, Jaws, Indiana Jones. And if you talk to him, he is the most humble guy.
Yeah.
In any interview you see with him. And he's the most brilliant composer to me, I think, that there has ever been for films. And all the time.
I'm
There's
a
no
Hans
one
Zimmer
who's
guy, but I hear what you're saying.
No, Hans Zimmer's fantastic. But Hans Zimmer, if you ask Hans Zimmer looked up to John Williams.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I think I heard that. So I think because John Williams is, I think he'd been doing scores for so long. You know, I don't know when Hans Zimmer started, but I love Hans Zimmer.
And also, it doesn't matter if you're right as long as you identify as being right.
Sure. But I think overall, I'm gonna just have to move past that because again,
I'm sorry,
I know for a fact, that there are times where you say something and you hide it in kind of like being straight faced about it. You'll be like, yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, sometimes hot dogs are candy, and then you kind of keep going.
You just got to keep rolling with it.
And I'm like, okay, I don't even know if I have the bandwidth to like stop and fuck with the flow again to be like, hey, hold on.
To backtrack, we
what
can't do that.
happened here?
Hey,
okay.
Now let's go ahead and go to our next section.
I've been avoiding this, which is why I didn't say anything. So today on What the Fiddly Fuck Are We Drinking, we have
what Hutch makes all the ladies want to do. Barf. Soda. Yeah.
You fucking asshole.
No, is this? I don't. If you guys can see this graphic right now, he really thinks that I'm gonna drink this.
Yeah, well, after you saying that shit, you deserve to at least have one sip.
All right, for
Barf
the listeners
soda.
at home, it's this green zombie-looking man. He's got broccoli in his right hand, and he's vomiting all these different colors.
I don't know what it is.
It says great chunky flavor. How does it smell? This is gonna be the first one Hutch can't drink, guys. Let's bet on it. Let's place your bets in the comments.
Yeah, please.
All right. Oh, that was a very loud one.
That almost hit me. Now, what is that? Because it smells like it could be some sort of fruit flavored soda.
It kind of smells like chlorine.
Well, you know what?
Cheers.
Cheers.
It says barf. I feel like it's less barf than. Let's see.
It's shitty. It's a shitty flavor. I don't think it's barf. I have barfed plenty in my life.
It's a weird toilet water type vibe.
Yeah.
It's not barf.
But it's not barf. And you know what? Anything is better than barf.
Yeah, this is a relief, actually, knowing that it only takes like this. Like, it's bad, but... Oh. Ugh. Like a little shampoo in there, kind of.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
kind
I
of
don't
like
know.
Conditioner and shampoo. And then tangerine.
I'm catching a tangerine.
Yeah. That's really, really bad. And you know what? If you're going to be selfless, you should drink the whole thing.
Not going to happen, bro.
Okay, so you're going to be selfish.
I'm going to take one more sip. I'm going to do one more sip.
You're going to be selfish.
I'm going to be selfish today, yeah.
Okay. Today? Today?
Ooh, brother.
I'm going to say this.
Talk to me.
You've said that you're a selfless person, right?
I feel selfless. I do. Talk to me.
I think you are, but like with me, you seem to like forget that aspect of yourself. Like you kind of like, you immediately are just like, you know what, bro?
Let me tell you about yourself.
You make girls barf.
Hey.
We're filming.
Hey.
Nothing you can do about it.
Hey.
And I'm like, and here I am just like sitting here, haven't said nothing I can do about it.
We still got 30 minutes to go in the episode.
Right.
Oh, Jesus.
So you would say overall though, but in all seriousness, I would say that you're very selfless. I've always seen that you're a family man. I've always seen you help out your family. I've always seen you help out your friends. Yeah, it's a tough combo trying to do both because I think that it's so easy to fall over either side. You're kind of like walking the razor blade, and so either way you fall. If you decide to care more about other people and not about yourself, you neglect yourself.
Yeah.
And that can be detrimental to your mental health. It can be detrimental to yourself financially, emotionally. And then the other side of things is where you care so much about yourself and what you're doing that you start to neglect those around you.
Yep.
And so it's tough. And I actually wanted to ask, what would you say is one thing you do to try to stay balanced with those two things?
It's hard to say this because people don't know me watching, at home. But I felt like I was leaning a little bit too far into the selflessness and putting myself on the back burner. And then that caused me to drift into being, way more selfish, But then I'm like, but I don't feel so whole inside because I feel like I'm not spending as much time with my family or I'm too hyper-focused on the tasks that I put in front of myself that I feel like, I'm shaming myself whenever I do things for others. And I was like, this doesn't feel good. I feel like I'm not finding a happy medium. I'm hot or cold.
Sure.
So what I got better at was planning, right? Like being selfish enough to say, my objectives and where I want to be in the future matter. So let me plan things out, set my objectives, use my calendar more, mark off these dates that are for me.
Sure.
Mark off these time slots that are for me. That way, I don't feel bad when I choose to be selfless and, extend my talents or energy towards someone else's goals, especially loved ones. It was when I did not really have my scheduling all the way together that I felt, someone's trying to take something from me. Someone's doing and everybody's winning but me. But then once you have a plan and you have that calendar set up, it's like, I only gave up time that was allocated for others.
Sure.
So it doesn't feel like I'm losing out on myself. Then it's like I can be selfless in all acts, still knowing that, hey, I have this on my calendar, so I have to dedicate my time to this thing or else I'm hurting my future self. So I think really planning, getting a calendar helps you find a nice little medium to at least know where you are in the grand, scheme of helping others versus helping yourself.
But it takes experience, and it also takes kind of falling on either side.
Oh yeah.
To then realize, it's that hindsight's 20/20. So then there are times, for the longest time, I would say that I was so worried about, I guess, my own, I don't know if it was just my own self-preservation or my own self-worth, but I focused so much on that I think it was detrimental. It wasn't a positive. It wasn't me taking care of myself. It was me taking care of only myself because I was so worried about myself.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is, one, that's not all there is to life.
Oh, yeah, no.
And so much of, I think, what we see in today's society, whether it be entertainment or whether it be social media or money or extravagance, any of these things, there's so much more besides that.
Oh, yeah.
But unfortunately, that is what is constantly promoted.
Yeah, and it's a funny thing. We kind of studied in anthropology, which is just the study of humans, yada, yada, yada. We studied the difference between individualistic societies like American society and most kind of Western societies. They're individualistic. We reward people for being able to do things on their own. Champions who are able to step on everybody and get to the top themselves.
Totally.
Whereas there are other cultures, like let's use Japan for an example. They're more collectivist. So you have individualists like us, and then you have collectivists who, even from the early stages of child development and teaching, they are instructing these kids to exhibit traits that show their ability to lift others up and make sure everyone else is on one accord, rewarding people for not standing out.
Sure.
And to an American, that's like, what? No, I should stand out. All my talents matter, blah, 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 blah. That's absolutely true. And it's hardwired into us to value that. But there are full societies where they're all about how to be as equal as they can, and make sure there's no outliers in their population.
Sure.
Everybody work together. So I think there's stuff we can learn from, every society. Absolutely. And
Totally.
You can learn from being selfish and learn from being selfless.
Yeah. And balance in anything with life is a total bitch, in my opinion, and it's something that I have failed at many, many times. Balance is not something that I've ever been great at. I've only recently, I would say, gotten good at it in some ways. Before, it was always one or the other. It was very black and white, so there was really no gray involved. So if it was this is what was happening, and then if it was this is what's happening. And there's always a positive to being so gung-ho in whatever it is that you're trusting or doing or believing in. But there also needs to be a little bit of just like, okay, yeah, I get that, but remember that there's this whole other world over here. It's not just about you and your feelings, and it's also not just about other people and not you. Then that's tough, because in this society, I think that we are taught to be pretty selfish. I think we're taught based off of just how many people, especially where we live, Los Angeles.
Oh, LA, yeah.
It is dog eat dog world, very cutthroat. You either make it or you step on someone to make it, or you don't make it and get stepped on. There's not a lot of ways where, you do it without someone else not getting, burned in some way, shape, or form. So, yeah, that's a really tough one. And, we've talked about, I would say, with friendships and with family, that's it's tough too, because when you have your family, right, and you're very much a family man, I would say I am as well, you love and care about your family.
Oh, yeah.
Way more, at least for me, I care way more about them than I do about myself at times. And so therefore, I'm usually willing to overlook my own needs with certain things, because I'm like, no, because you don't really need that stuff. Like they need this, don't worry about you. But eventually, that's where, you can build up resentment.
Oh, yeah.
And dude, when you build up resentment, it will not seem like it's actually a big deal.
No.
It'll be like one thing after the other, and it'll pile up slowly but surely. And then the day that the last can drops on top of that pile.
Oh, it's going to explode.
Oh, and it's just the worst, because who do you really have to blame but yourself for the fact that you didn't mention it?
That's where it really hurts. And then they hit you with the, well, you never said anything.
You never said anything. And it's like, I know, because I was
because I thought you were a good enough person to not take advantage of me. You son of a... it's tough.
That's a tough one. Yeah, especially because then when someone says that to you and they say, you didn't say anything. I'm like, fuck, you're right. I didn't say anything. Yeah. So that's a possibility. I remember, I'll tell you a great story. And it was from a good friend of mine. And he got really, really frustrated with me one time. And I didn't really understand why. It was after we'd gone out to dinner. Mm-hmm. And I told him that I was going to Venmo him. And I didn't. I forgot. Right? Uh-huh. And so then the next time that we were doing something and I bought him something and he was like, oh, I'll Venmo you. I'm about my money. So like within 5 minutes after I pay for something, you've seen when we're even like,
check in.
I'm like, hey, bro, the sodas were this much and this was this much.
But
and
you can be forgetful when it's somebody else's money.
But when it's somebody else's, it's like, to me, the reason I thought that, though, the reason that it just didn't occur to me is because when I am after my money, if someone owes me money or if I'm owed from work or if someone says they're going to pay me back, I'm on it. Mm-hmm. So I assume that when I tell someone, hey, Venmo me, right, that they're going to be on it the same way I would be on it. Mm-hmm. So they're going to come at me and be like within 3 minutes. And if they don't, it's not that I meant to ignore it. It just doesn't cross my mind again usually because I think someone else is going to bring it up the way I would. I go, hey, can you Venmo me? He goes, what about da-da-da? And the thing that I didn't pay for. And I go, oh, well, I could pay you for that. Well, yeah, but it's not like really you didn't pay me back. So why are you asking to be paid back that quickly? You didn't pay me back.
Yeah. How about I just keep the money?
How about I just keep the money? Yeah. And it was one of those moments in life where at first I was like, where is it all coming from? I didn't really understand it.
Oh, he blew up on you, though.
He got really upset.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And by the way, it was justified, in my opinion, because, again, just because I do things a certain way, and I'm on it when people owe me money or if someone buys me, if I buy someone something and they say they're going to Venmo me, I Venmo them within 48 seconds of my card being charged. I've always been that way with money because I've lost all my money before.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm
when it's not there. When it is.
I know when I don't have the money. But then, for me to do that, but then to ignore someone else's request or have it just be absent, I'm absent-minded about it. And I'm like, oh, well, I just didn't even think about it. It's kind of like, okay, dude, like, so you're selfish about your own money, but then when it comes to other people's, you're still being selfish?
What a jackass.
And so now again, thank you, Daniel, I appreciate that. But the point was that once I heard that side, I grew from that point, and then now I just try to pay people back immediately.
It's better to not have the accounting discrepancies. Right.
Because I didn't realize, because I could have sworn that if someone didn't bug me about it, that it didn't really bother them. Because when I bug people about my money.
Some people come from cultures that don't talk about certain things. Like right now it has to do with money, but some people are a little bit uncomfortable about saying, hey, you owe me that money. And every time I see you, yo, that money.
Right.
Like, it's awkward for some people. They're like, oh, it's no money. I can't keep asking them for money. But it's
Right.
like, but you're owed it, so do it, or else you're going to make it awkward down the line, be resentful, and then we have this big blow up.
And then we have this big blow up because if some, I am like, and I'll do it in like the nicest way, but if I ask you a few times and then you don't pay me back, right? Eventually, it's not even about asking nicely or not nicely. I just go point blank. Yeah. I just said now there's no pleasantries.
The money.
Like now stat. Like, I can't get off the phone until I hear the cha-ching from Venmo sound.
Jesus Christ.
That you sent it.
Hey.
Because I've asked now for 2 weeks. It's now been 2 weeks and an hour. And I'm fucking over it. Right? So that's why. But again, I would have never understood had someone not blown up at me and been like, you need to be more fucking thoughtful. You need to be more thoughtful. Because it wasn't like... when certain people do things, I think, when they're either being selfish, I would say only when they're being selfish. A lot of the times, we take it as some sort of slight against us. Like they're mindfully doing it to either insult us, not pay us back, do something, and we think there's malice.
Yeah, actively towards you. Mm-hmm. What versus someone just looking out for themselves?
Just being completely unaware. That's what it is.
I think there are some cases where that's the case. Someone's unaware. They're just really about their stuff. That's kind of redeemable. But there are some people out there who straight up are capitalistic society. I'm here to capitalize on everybody. Totally. If they let me get away with it, I'm going to get away with it, and I'm going to take them.
And by the way, they are going to take advantage of anybody who is not down to be that forward about like getting their money.
And that's why you do have to be, like you say, forward about those things that matter to you, so you don't then have to complain about it. Yeah. Ooh, yeah, that's friends. Yeah, friends in business is always tough.
I have one for you.
Yeah, talk to me.
So one time, and this was so long ago, so I'm sure my sister won't mind me telling it. But when I first moved into my first apartment, after I moved out, I lived relatively close to my mom's house. And I had my sister, she was looking for like some sort of summer job, something like that. And I said, well, I'm horrible with laundry. Like, you come do my laundry. And so she was doing my laundry. And then I think one of my favorite shirts or something, she didn't look at it, was supposed to be like cold washed or something, right?
So now
like,
it's 2 sizes
so then
smaller.
it's like children's size, right? And so I get mad and I'm like, well, I'm not going to pay you. Like, you ruined one of my favorite shirts. I was like really upset.
Your little sister?
And she goes, what do you mean you're not going to pay me? I go, you ruined one of my articles of clothing. Like, why would I pay you if you did a bad job?
But wait, what did she sign up for? To do the laundry?
To do the laundry.
Did the laundry.
She did the laundry, but she...
So I didn't say I was going to do it good. I did it. No, but tell me. So
but I'm not trying to be mean here.
I didn't get the service.
You ruined part of my clothing. Like I can't wear this anymore. This is done.
Yeah.
And I'm like, in this shirt, it was a relatively expensive shirt.
So I'll just subtract the cost of the shirt, and now you owe me $25.
That's what it would. Honestly, if I'd done it that way, she would have owed my ass money. It was like a really, really nice T-shirt because it was like with the Disney money, I was buying like Gucci, Versace stuff.
Yeah.
So when she did that, I said that, and then we got into a huge fight.
I bet.
Right. And then so she left. My mom calls me, and my mom says, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And I say, "What?" She goes, Did you really tell her that you're not going to pay her? I said, she ruined a designer shirt. I said, what do you mean? She goes, Hutch, no.
It's not about that.
It's not about that. That's your little sister.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah, so she ruined a shirt. She still did put in the effort. She still did your laundry. You should pay her regardless because she's your sister.
For her hours.
Right?
Yeah.
And I went... And I'm like, 18, 19, just full of piss and vinegar.
I know you weren't having it.
But I paid her. My mom was when she talked like that to me, she always got through.
Did you pay her begrudgingly? Like you send the Venmo and you say, you suck.
No. I called her and said, come pick it up, and I apologized.
Yeah.
And I gave it to her. And then from that point forward, I don't think I ever asked any sibling to do laundry.
Again, it's like, okay, laundry is the problem, not me. That's rough, dude.
So, what about you? What anything with family that's ever happened that's been, a little bit tense?
I remember and look at me. Look, I'm pointing at other people and they're being selfish. But I remember being super upset with my bro, man.
Okay.
One time, not one time, it was just like he was in the culture of that same kind of rebellious kind of vibe that you were on.
Got you.
Anyway, I'm in high school, Long Beach, Renaissance High School. And my brother went to the school next door to me. Right?
Sure.
So he gets out earlier than me too, right? He gets out maybe like 20, 30 minutes earlier. He get out of school, go get his car, come pick me up. It's as simple as that. Then I get to go and do the things I need to do, get my homework done.
I can hear the resentment. I can just hear
already.
Simple as that.
Simple as that, bro. But he was on this streak, dude, of showing up late to get me. And I'm like, what do you have to do, bro? I didn't get at that time that, I don't know, hanging out with chicks and stuff was that important, at the time. So I really didn't get it, man.
Sure.
But he was like showing up late and I ended up having to stay after. And it's just me and the security guard hanging there. And he's like, oh, yeah, so when's your family coming? Oh, he'll be here in a little bit. Just keep having to do that. And then this one day, Nate doesn't show up for like 2 hours, bro.
That's rough.
And then he finally pulls up, shirt off in his car with one of his freaking homies. Like, hey, Dan, what's up, man? Hey, bro. And the homie's in the front seat. And he pulls up, on the near the sidewalk. And I'm looking at this dude that I don't know. He ends up being a really great friend of mine. But I'm like, what the are you doing in the front seat?
Oh, no.
Get your hands on the front seat. Nate, what in the hell is wrong with you, man? Laying into my brother like, all you had to do was pick me up, and this is what's wrong with you, and we can't never do that.
Okay.
Just tearing into him, whatever. And the friend's like shook up, and, he gets out, and, I hop in. I'm like, just get me home, man. I ain't trying to mess with this no more. I'll take the damn bus. I don't care. But that was a moment of what I thought was pure just selfishness, and it was. But I didn't also now I'm being retrospective, okay?
Sure.
So I'm pointing out his selfishness there. But if he didn't have a little brother, he wouldn't have had to do, go that extra mile, and maybe he could have spent more time hanging out with the homegirls and the homies and whatever, and maybe that would have been his perfect world, and I'm the one ruining it. So maybe I should, adjust that. But I thought that was very selfish.
Well, it's okay, by the way, to be able to be like, you know what, we're both being selfish, right? I'm thinking about the fact that you haven't picked me up, but I'm also not thinking about the fact that you might have some shit going on as well that might delay you, right? Yeah. So then that's what makes things so tough, is because in the moment, it's so hard to think of someone else's point of view when you have your own.
Yeah.
That's tough because when I'm thinking, I'm like, look, that Versace shirt costs $220 fucking dollars. Okay, I pay you $50 to do laundry. Okay, so that means that you really owe me $170. As far as I'm concerned,
I'm in the hole.
I'm in the hole. Like this is, and at the time too, because of making the money I did from Zeke and Luther, my mom was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Over $100.
She was like, "Yeah." She was like, "You can go buy another. Don't act like you can't go buy 5 of them, and then be like, oh, I don't even need 3 of them." Like she was, and I appreciated that because again, our selfishness will allow us to be as petty as we want. Our selfishness will really, we can go the extra mile in pettiness. Yeah. And so it does usually take someone like your mom or someone really close to you who can kind of like sit you down and say, no.
Yeah.
What you're doing is not it.
Dude, and that's what I'm saying. Like, instinctually, humans, bro. Jeez, bro. Humans are wild, dude. Like I say, I look at my little baby nieces. Like, it's all girls in our family. But, they exhibit those really sweet moments and stuff like that, too. But sometimes there's just this, you can see the instinct just happen where the little sister maybe flung the water in the air and it hit them in the face and they're like, angry and I want to take it out on whoever is right by me, you know. And it's like, whoa, that's your little sister. Relax. Regroup.
Mm-hmm.
You are older and you know better. And I know it doesn't feel good to not be able to act on your impulse, but we gotta learn. You know?
That's another thing too. I appreciate that story, man, because when I was younger and I lived with my mom most of the time, and then I saw my dad on the weekends, you know, and there were just times where I just didn't really understand why the divorce happened. I didn't get it. And so to me, I looked at both of them like they were both wrong, like to make it so I only got to see my dad for 2 days, or I only got to see my mom on the weekdays because my dad had me on the weekend. And like, I was mad at both of them. I was mad at both of them, but I was also so young at the time. I didn't really understand. I didn't really get, you know, they
the
tried.
complexities they're facing. Yeah.
Well, and they're trying to explain it to me. And they're saying, you know, getting a divorce, you know, we're going to be happier. Like all the things you say to a kid to be like, hey, this is why this very adult decision is happening. And let me put it into kid words as best I can for you to understand. But it's still, I was, you know, as a kid too, you can be so selfish as a kid. And again, it's completely, you're unaware. It's not something where you would be like, oh my God, I'm being so selfish as a 9-year-old. I need to really calm. I need to take a step back, really analyze all this and make sure that I'm doing this from the right point of view.
Yeah.
But I was really mad, and I would tell them both. I would be telling them that I was mad. I was like, well, you know, I just don't understand why we're not still living in the same house, or I don't understand why you don't hang out with mom anymore, or why you don't hang out with dad anymore. I would say these things, and man, I thought I was right. You just, you
in
know,
that moment, yeah, it feels so real to you. It could be all so simple,
and it's not.
Yeah.
And so I think that there is something to be said for experience. And what do they say when it comes to, you know, pain is what gives wisdom, right? So pain and suffering is how you gain wisdom, and that's why wisdom is so valuable, and it's also why you wouldn't want to go back, right? If someone said, because if I had to go through learning what I've learned now again, I don't know if you could pay me to go through those experiences again, unless I had no choice in the matter.
Ooh,
because some of those were
to relearn from that pain, man.
That pain is
headaches.
It's one of the best teachers in the world, but man, I've never in my life been so grateful to something, and just dreaded even thinking about having to go through it again.
I mean, it's like God is like, I'll create these people that I love and I want them to worship me, but they're going to have to go through life and learn things. Yeah, learning's great, but they can only learn through pain.
Now,
okay.
I'll say this too.
Weird flex, but cool.
Because life, I don't know if there's any way for life to not be painful.
No, not at all.
I don't know if there's a way.
I always look to just the first breath you take. You think you come into this world, like, first of all, everything's just peaceful. You're just chilling in the little whatever sack,
in the ether,
and whatnot. You know, you're just in there waiting,
totally.
And then all of a sudden, just breach, oh, and the water's leaving, and you're like, what the hell is going on? This randomness is happening, but it's okay because I'm still not breathing on my own. I got the umbilical cord, and then sploosh. You're splooshed out into the world, and you have to take your first breath. Yeah. Imagine this thing that has never had air. It's been unpressurized.
Life.
And all of a sudden,
getting life. Yeah, I mean,
but that's
coming alive.
Painful. The little baby is startled. They're screaming. Well,
they've never breathed before, so it's like everything is going to be.
What the hell is this painful thing that keeps happening? And then it closes down, and then the pain again, and it just keeps going until you learn to like it. Now, you couldn't pay me not to breathe. Like,
100%.
I long to breathe.
100%.
But that first one was just a bunch of pain. Like, it's just like you're just saying how closely tied the humanity is to pain. Like, you can't go through life without pain.
I don't think, and you know what? I don't know if we would be the people, again, and this is for each and every person, everyone's different, but would we even be the people that like, I didn't used to like myself. I didn't. I was not a fan of me. I was like, you know, people be like, why do you smoke cigarettes? Why do you drink the way you do? I was like, because I don't love myself. I don't. I have a disdain for myself for some reason. I have a disdain. And it wasn't until, you know, all the growing up and the pain and the getting sober that I started to fucking like myself.
Yeah.
And without that pain, I don't know if I'd ever come to liking myself the way I do now. So in a way, it's like I pray that I never have to go through pain like that again, but I'm still grateful I had to go through it.
To get over it, because now you've learned to love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Learn to love yourself.
It's tough. It's tough. Yeah, no. Ooh, growing up, bro. Hey, yo, my boy God be throwing those haymakers, boy. It's tough, man.
He does.
Because just learning, you want to fit into society, but kids too, they're all learning their boundaries and they're so rude and mean, bullying and stuff happens.
Oh, vicious.
Yeah.
Vicious.
And you end up trying to change yourself to fit in, but then as you continue to go, you're like more and more able to develop thick enough skin to say, yeah, I don't think I want to change this about myself.
Yeah.
And actually, maybe that's not so bad, And
yeah, you start to get confident and value yourself in a way where you know what you like about yourself and what you feel like maybe, maybe I need to work on this. But it's not just because someone said, it's because of this that you need to change this. You're making the decision on your own.
Yeah.
Well, as far as loving myself goes,
Barf.
It ain't doing it. It's not when I have to drink this. So
yeah, go ahead, get it down. Good Lord.
Oh, yeah, do that shampoo comment.
Yeah, it's shampoo.
Well, that was another episode For Further Instructions. Thank you for stopping by, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.
See you next time.
All right.
Peace.